What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the kingdom. My name is Drums. As always, I'm joined again by the brothers behind King Golf, Regan and Jordan Headley. First up on the tee tonight, we have Reg. What's going on, buddy?
Oh, not much, man. Pretty weird September day in Dolphin here. We've had a little bit of everything. We had a ton of sunshine, 10 minutes of very hard rain, and 5 minutes of hail mixed into one September day here. So it's been a pretty odd day with leaves blowing everywhere.
Nice. And how was your tournament over the weekend?
That was good.
Yeah?
Me and old Teddy Boy pulled through, so that was good.
Ooh.
Yeah, it was a pretty successful weekend.
Who'd you beat in the final?
We beat Jake Weens and Steve DeRoche, a couple young guys from Dolphin here who
Young Bucks.
gave us a good match. It came down to 17. Jake made a 15-footer for par on 14 to keep the match going, and then birdied 15 and 16 it was a tap-in par on 15 and then a 20-foot slider on 16 to keep the match alive again. So it was pretty impressive to watch.
Ooh, nice.
He's a good young golfer from Dolphin here, so it was a good weekend. And the tournament was sold out, so it was also very good that way.
Good. And next on the tee, we got his brother, Jordan. How's it going, man?
Top of the evening to you boys.
Hola.
What's going on? Congrats, Rigo.
Thank you.
How's the butter tart, Drums?
This is delicious.
Drums is eating a butter tart for supper, so he's stuffed right now.
Yeah, of course. Fantastic diet.
Things were a little bit different in Brandon today. We had nothing but sunshine, and it was a beautiful day. Did a bit of work. I was actually on a grade 5 and 6 virtual presentation with Bryce Watson and the kids in Glenboro. So this should be a piece of cake compared to that. They were asking me some tough questions.
Give me one.
What did they ask? They asked, well, how do I balance my time between work and King Golf? And another one was, what is my long-term career goals? This is grade 5 and 6 is asking me these questions.
Oh, that's a better question than what I thought you were going to get.
I said, to be completely honest with you, I don't have a clue. I'm just trying to get by day.
I've seen a couple of those on there. He had Patty Law on there. He had Dylan Thornborough, guys that we talk about quite often.
Yeah,
I've seen a couple tweets of his.
So that was fun. But other than that, I'm very, very happy to be here tonight. I got some fresh soul beer. We got something cool going on tonight. We saw a tweet a couple of days ago about, I think it was from No Laying Up. I think Robbie tweeted it or retweeted it. And they said that they were stuck, so they went through their top courses hole by hole on the PGA course with, I think, Max Homa it was. So we kind of got the idea to do something like that for the Manitoba version of it, or I guess I don't know what kind of courses you got in there, but I stuck to Manitoba for mine. And so we're going to do that. We're going to go through the front nine tonight, and then hopefully next episode we'll hit the back nine. And then we'll get to our usual segments, Culture Corner, the Stroke Saver, and the Junk Drawer, and then get some overrated or underrated at the end. So that's what's going on tonight. What is up with you, Drums?
Nothing. Same here. In Brandon again, it was a nice day. I was very much contemplating going out even to just the range today, but said screw it. I golfed Sunday. That would probably be my last round. I'm thinking that will be my last.
Glenlee or Wheat City?
Wheat City.
How'd it go?
83.
Oh, that's a good one to hang up the old clubs too.
I'll take it. Have you guys hung them up yet?
No, we got a big tournament this weekend in Gilbert, the Ironman.
Oh yeah.
Which was featured on our viral TikTok video. So we'll take a few more videos this weekend to show the fans what it's all about.
So when was the video from?
Last year.
Oh.
Last year?
Yeah.
Just last year. So I had a couple things today. I was cruising through the park actually for work, and I listened to a couple of our previous podcasts, and I just have a couple follow-ups, a little bit of housekeeping on it. So, Drums, you'll be surprised to hear this one. Super Bowl artists do not get paid. So I was right on that one. I Googled it. They do it just for the exposure. It does cost a lot of money, which Pepsi pays for to put it on, but the artists themselves don't get paid.
Huh.
I'm not sure that I was thinking about that too, and I'm not sure that it's for the exposure. I think it's just to like put on their trophy wall. You know what I
maybe
mean?
so. Yeah, that's what I like. It's a prestigious thing almost, right?
Yeah, prestige. Because a lot of those artists, like who did it last year, Lady Gaga, like they don't need exposure. It's just something that they can say that they have done.
Yeah,
I'm
so that was
surprised about that because drums isn't often wrong about that kind of stuff. So
I just remember
I just took a picture of his reaction.
I remember talking about it. I think it was I don't know.
Was it 5? Was that when he had his tarp off?
Yeah, I think it was Adam Levine.
I want to say that was a few years ago.
Was it?
A couple years ago. Either way.
Anyways.
I couldn't actually find whether or not the U.S. Open makes money from hosting it. I typed in like 30 different things on my search engine and I couldn't find anything.
Like the course?
Yeah. It did say that, like, I want to say, like, there's a lot of money. So they make about $112 million per U.S. Open. And I think it's something
USGA?
like USGA. And 75 million of that goes back into the game of golf in the States. So it's pretty cool that way.
I didn't know.
And the last thing was we talked about bush balls on the over-underrated.
Yeah.
And your argument that all you have to do was clean them up and they're good to go. I just had one thought when I was thinking about that, is that if you pull a ball out of the package, you know that it's brand new. If you find it in the bush, you don't know whether someone else found that ball in the water and then hit it in the bush after that. So you don't 100% know if it's waterlogged.
That's true.
So
usually the waterlogged balls have a bit of brown to them, though.
Yeah, it's kind of a dumb thing to think about, but that's all I was thinking about. I have some trust issues with using used golf balls. I was listening to our podcast while I was driving, and I thought of that. I wasn't sitting at home and thought, remember we were talking about bush balls? No. I listened to our old episodes just to try to improve.
Yeah.
All right, Rico, we're going to do the contest next week, right? What's the tournament? Shriners Hospital
for whatever it is. I don't know the name of it.
It's Shriners Hospital something.
For children.
Rigo says it's a big tournament. So Rigo's going to come up with our list of the 21 tournaments that we're going to do this for. We're going to contribute some cash every week, and we're going to pick one player each, us three, and then a chosen guest. And then every week it doesn't go, which is probably going to be a lot of weeks. It'll just keep carrying over and building up. So,
well, we're 1 for 1, so the pot's still pretty small.
Yeah, that's true. We're 1 for 1.
We owe you money yet.
Yeah, I haven't seen any of that yet. But so Rigo's going to pick the first
Probably won't.
Contestant, and he will have the first pick in next week's tournament, and then we'll go second, third, fourth. Okay, speed it up. A little faster. At Warren Birch. Birchie boy. Mayor of Carberry. So Birchie, if you're hearing this right now, we're going to do – you won't be live on the show, but we'll reach out to you sometime next week. So have your pick ready for the Shriners tournament. And I guess for people wanting to get in on the next contest, Rigo, what's going to be the keyword?
Tamarack.
Okay. And do you know what that tournament is? Maybe there's
Tamarack 87 glass.
The next tournament is going to be the Zozos probably, which is 2 weeks after that.
No, there's one more in there.
There's one at Wolf Creek.
We're going to be, JT won it last year. It's the C something challenge.
Yeah, that's right. Okay. So if you want to enter in the next week's contest, or 2 weeks, I guess, from now, but we'll pick next week, send us a message to one of our Twitter accounts, either King Golf or Kingdom Podcast, with the word Tamarack, and we'll put you in the draw for next week. And with that, is there anything else we need to talk about? All right,
I think
let's
that's
get
about
into
it. Let's
this.
get into these courses. Yeah, I'm pretty excited to hear your guys' holes here.
All
This
So we
right.
was
all kind of,
tough. This was
yeah, it
tough,
was
man.
pretty tough. We all picked from the different courses in Manitoba. Did you guys stick to Manitoba, or did you?
Well,
Yeah, Manitoba.
I stuck to Manitoba and just kind of like the more popular that I play.
Okay.
So I don't know if it's like out of every course I've ever played, but kind of
So
the
we
more
basically each designed our own front nine this week from all the courses. And for example, if we wanted to use the first hole, we would choose like say Oak Island first hole at Oak Island, something like that. And so we built our courses 9 holes each, and we're kind of going to walk through all of them right now. So I think it's going to be pretty fun to hear. We haven't disclosed them to each other yet, so this is all new. And we're kind of going to get into about 3 each in a little bit more depth, and then just kind of skim through the rest. So I guess I'm up first, right?
Yes, sir.
lead us off, buddy.
So my first hole on my course is going to be number 1 at Poplar Ridge, which is a par 5. It's pretty long. It's got a really cool tee shot from the back, which I don't know if I've ever done or not, but it looks mental back there. And I chose it because I think that it's an easy hole to start on because you can kind of aim as far right as you want, and it's kind of a good one to get into the game. So that's mine.
Mine is, you guys are going to be real shocked, number 1 at Gilbert Plains. The most homer when it comes to picking anything to do with courses. The tee shot at number 1 at Gilbert, you cruise across the bridge, you go load up your clubs, you cruise across the bridge, and then drive up to the tee box. It's a multi-tiered tee box, and mostly being in the middle for the whites. If the tees are up to the front, it gives the long hitters the temptation to go for the green on the first shot of the day. I myself went for it about 98% of the time this year. And if you don't want to do that, it's just a nice smooth iron shot out into the middle of the fairway, and then you go to the green from there. So it's a dog leg right with the river all the way down the right side of the hole. So it's a pretty cool hole to start.
Drums.
Mine's gonna actually be Wheat City, first hole.
Ooh, nice.
I don't know, what is it, like 305, something like that. So it's a
It's
relatively short par 4 to open you up, but it's a pretty intimidating tee shot. Your first tee shot of the day.
Yep.
I like that challenge to it. It can be a good view when it's kind of peak season. You can have the water on the right looks good combined with it's just a good view. So there's that. The added bunker that they put in the past, I don't know, what is it, 3 or 4 years now, at like 25 yards out, just adds to the precision you'd have to do if you do want to hit driver. And I think it's a good opening hole. You have trouble, but it's not. It depends how you hit the ball. Like, I'm always going to slice my first tee shot, so I'm in the water no matter what. But even if you kind of go safe, like you can knock an iron down in the middle and you still have a relatively short shot in. So it's a fun opening hole with some added visual challenges, because I think it gives you a hard mental to start on. The green, I like the green. It's got some tough reads on it, but it's still not super hard, that green, either, to read. So it is. I think it's just a good opening hole with some challenge and some fun.
Some risk reward.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, both of you guys said risk reward on yours. Mine was easy hole to start, but drums on Wheat City. I think to get to the green, it's maybe like 15 yards wide between the bunker and the rough that they cut up there.
Right.
Like it's narrow. If you want to roll it up there, either you got to go over that and hope for a good lie, or hit the 15-yard landing zone there and try to sneak her through the green.
Yeah.
All right. I like that. I like those opening holes, boys. So 2, Rigo. Oh, sorry. What's the order here? Drummy's up first.
2, I've got Oak Island. That's a hard dogleg left par 4 off the hop there. So you can hit like a middle iron and get yourself set up pretty good for a short iron in still. That's my 2.
Plus it plays to your hook.
Yes, sir.
My number 2 is actually one that we played for the first time this summer. Drums, you were there, and it was Melita. You grew up there, so you know all about it. But it's another very elevated tee shot. It's a par 3, and it's just an awesome view up there. And I think in my course I tried to. I guess we can get into that after, but I tried to keep a few par 3s, few par 4s. And Melita, I really like that hole there. It's a challenging second hole of the day.
My number 2 is going to be very familiar with you guys. Pars maybe aren't so familiar with you guys on this hole. It's number 2 at Dolphin Lake. You start off there with number 1, which is I don't want to say an easy birdie, but you can make birdie if you hit a couple good shots. And then it comes to number 2, and it's about 180-yard par 3 that plays, I don't know, something about that hole. The pin was at the front all weekend at the Gary Brand, so it wasn't that tough. But if they move that pin back at all, it becomes a very tough hole. And I mean, there's a bunker on the front right, trees on the left. It's a tight shot. Like, it doesn't look that crazy, but I've seen a ton of bogeys or more there over the years. I don't know what it is about it, but it's a very challenging hole. I don't know if you guys.
My whole life I struggled with that. I don't
remember. I could probably count the amount of pars I've had in my life there on 2 hands. So
yeah,
something about it, man. I
you're
don't know what it is.
You're hitting from 17 into the green or 10 into the green. That happens all the time.
It's crazy. Yeah, it's tough. And the wind, like I went from I hit a 6-iron there one day on the weekend to a 9-iron the next, just with the wind there. So it is
and
tough.
They've cleared it out quite a bit, eh? The bushes by the tee box there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
That's good.
Well, Rigo, I think you're up again with your 3.
Yeah, I'm gonna go to Dosa National. The hole that was completely underwater after the flood there, and I've seen some pictures of it recently where it's almost back to full life. What it is, it's about 280 yards with a pond covering the front of the green, about 20 yards short of the green. So you have to fly at about 250 to go for the green, and it's another one of those risk rewards. I tend to like those par 4s, so it's a fun hole.
Yep.
3 for me, I got down, and this is probably high up on your guys' list too, but Rossman.
Oh, Rossman.
It's one of the funnest holes you'll ever play. What is it, 85, 90 yards?
68, I think.
68.
Oh, really? That's short, eh? Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, no, I just love playing it. Like, there's nothing spectacularly beautiful or difficult about it other than you got to hit a good chip shot, basically.
There's very few holes when you get up to the tee and you think you have a chance at a hole-in-one every time, and you get that rush every time you take a swing on that hole.
Yeah,
true.
It's pretty cool.
I'm glad you said that, Drums. My number 3 is actually at Oak Island. It's the I wouldn't know if it's drivable or not, but it's probably about 310, 320. Rigo's winking at me, so I think he's driven it before. I think it's kind of out in the open by the field there, so I'm sure if you had a bit of wind, you could hit it.
Yeah.
Or not. But I think it's cool because there's, like I said, there's a field and a fence running on the left side of it. There's kind of a bailout on the right side if you hit a shorter club, but if you're hitting driver at it, it just kind of like, it's one of the ones that gets narrower and narrower as you get closer to the green. So there's a bunker on the left, there's a hazard on the right. It's kind of still early in the round, so you haven't hit a whole lot of drivers yet, and it makes you think. I've hit anything from a driver there to a 7-iron because, I mean, if you hit a 7-iron 180, you're looking at about 110 in, which is kind of what you want, and instead of like a 60-yarder in. So it kind of depends on how you're feeling, and it's another risk-reward one. But it's a fun hole. It's good green. There's been times where the pin's kind of tucked on the back left corner where it looks like it's a lot closer than it is. And then you kind of land it up by the green, and then you have to hit it over the ridge there to get to the back. So it's a tough one. But if the pin's kind of at the front or the middle, it's should be a birdie hole. I know that I joke around as an auto birdie. A couple buddies laugh at that, but it should be one that you have on, you're on into and get a good putt at it. So that's 3.
Right.
And so I'm up again, and I'm going back to Rossman Lake. This is probably my favorite hole on earth, I would say, just for memory wise and for everything. It's a very hard tee shot. Actually, I shouldn't say it's kind of a hard tee shot, but it's par 4. You have to probably land at about 220 yards if you want to get a look at the green. Trouble on both sides. And me and Rigo grew up there, and we would go to the 100-yard mark and just hit wedges into that green. So that's kind of why I like the hole, but that's number 4 Rossman for me.
Plus, we found about 6,000 golf balls in the creek shore of the green.
True.
Walking through there with like idiots. My number 4, it's kind of cool. Drums went number 2, you went number 3, and I'm going number 4 to Oak Island. So obviously they did something right there to open that course up. Number 4, it's a cool hole, man. Dogleg left, and it's another one of those holes. Well, it goes it's a dogleg left and then kind of goes back right.
That's back, yeah.
But it's one of those holes that can either be I don't want to say an easy birdie, but it can be if the wind's blowing the right way. But like that day that we played there, it can play like treacherous, man. The wind was out of the left off the lake and into us. It probably played about over 600 yards that day, I would say.
Yeah, it was
and
nuts.
Other days it probably plays 450 depending on the wind. So it's a really cool hole. It can either be, like I said, an easy birdie or a tough par. So I like that hole.
Yeah, I was kind of at a toss-up between Oak Island and the one I picked, which was Clear Lake. Number 4, Clear Lake. Par 5 with the water running across in front of the green. It's not really a particularly hard hole, but I've seen people struggle on that hole. I've struggled on that hole my entire life. It's so open on the left, yet all the time people are hitting it in that valley on the right. I mean, it's not really that difficult of a hole if you have a good drive, right? Like you can still put yourself in a good position to give it a chance on the second shot if you got the balls. But it's still a hard third shot in if you've laid up, just with the water, the bunkers at the back. So it's a good mix of hard and just a fun hole. The green can get crazy depending on the pin too. If it's at the back, you're flirting with the bunkers. At the front, it's going to have a hell of a lot of slope to it. So it can be a fun hole, or it can be a bitch, just a tough hole too. So
it's funny you said that, Drums. I actually on my original list before I edited today, I had Rossman at 3 and Clear Lake at 4. So it's a good thing I switched that, I guess. So we had some variety.
Yeah, we haven't had the same one yet, hey?
No.
That's
I'm impressed by that.
Drums, that approach shot. I mean, I'm more of a guy who, on that hole, I usually play Clear Lake when it's a tamarack. So qualifying especially, I usually hit a 6-iron and then get it to the 100. But you're right, that even a shot from 100 yards, you got a creek there, you got bunkers right and back. And it just seems like that the landing area on that green is like 5 feet. It's either coming off or, you know what I mean? Or going left.
Yeah.
So, or you're coming back down the hill if you go too far.
Yeah, exactly.
Wind makes a big difference on that hole too, man.
True. It's always swirling there.
I went just 2 different occasions there this year. I went driver pitching wedge in that thing that we had with Jordy and all those guys and Chazzy. And then in the tamarack, I went driver hybrid as hard as I could hit them both. And I just got onto the front of the green. So
if you can get it up there and have some wind,
Because if you can land on that second or get anywhere close to that second hump, then it runs forever down there too.
Catch that and run, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Drum, start us off on 5, buddy.
5, I've got Dolphin Lake. That dogleg par 5, dogleg right par 5. Got a little sentimental value to me. Like I remember growing up as a kid, it was always like a goal to hit it over the trees and stuff, right?
Yeah, get it through the trees.
Get it through the trees and give yourself a shot at getting on in 2. Kind of the bunkers at the front, or the bunker at the front, can play a bit of havoc depending on where they put the pin, but not an overly difficult hole, just one that I've always loved.
Must be a few years since you've been there.
Oh, really? Completely changed?
Completely
They got
changed.
Oh,
they got a
shit.
freaking hazard there now in front, like water.
They
on the
ripped
right
out
side.
the entire bush on the right because they were going to make that the fairway, and then they took out that bunker and filled it with grass in the front, and now there's a water hazard in front.
Oh.
That's totally different hole, but I missed the old number 5. That was a sweet hole.
Yeah, I like the old 5 better too.
Yeah.
This one's hard to get at now, hey? Like, I find it hard anyways, but I've only played there once a year for the last couple of years. Drums will get there next summer.
Yeah.
My number 5, hole 5 is Killarney. Par 5, it's the train track hole.
Oh, yeah.
So it's a kind of a chute to get out of there for the drive, but it kind of everything funnels down. So people have said that the maximum club that they usually hit on the second shot is like a 7 or 8 iron because everything just kind of flows down there. So I don't really remember that this year, but it's just cool. I like taking the cart over the train tracks, and it's just a different kind of hole. There's not many of the train tracks that run through courses around here, so I just like the hole.
I'd be interested to know if that train still runs. Like if it still goes through there.
I wouldn't think so. I think it's
just
probably
get stuck behind the train on the course. Yeah. Mine, I haven't played this course that much, but when I have, I've really enjoyed this hole. It's a beautiful hole. Number 5 at Shiloh. It's dogleg left, par 5, and it's another one of those ones, if it's in the wind, it plays long, and if not, you can get there in 2. The second shot's blind over the trees if you don't hit your tee shot far enough right. Mm-hmm. And it's a severely sloped fairway from right to left. So basically you can hit it up on the hill, and it all kind of feeds down to the blind second shot. And I've really enjoyed that hole every time I've played there. And Jor, the green's kind of crazy there too, is it not?
Yeah, it's like almost 3 tiers.
Mm-hmm.
Not severely sloped, but you can kind of run it up there, and it can run down into the little
right. Lots of gathering areas, yeah.
Yeah, that's right. But there is kind of 3 different levels to it. So if you get at the top, you could be running all the way down to the bottom if they're running them fast.
Par 5s, when you have to hit 2 like solid shots to get to the green, are fun par 5s.
That is a hard shot. Yeah, it's a tough one to get at too. It's one I usually just play. This year was a little different, but we usually play scrambles out there, and that's something that you can get there in 2. But by yourself, it is a tough one to get to in 2 for sure.
Definitely.
Shiloh starts with 4 par 4s, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then it goes number 5 is a par 5,
and then a par 3. Yeah,
par 3, and then another par 5. No.
Nope, it's that one that goes straight left. And then a par 3, and then a par 5.
Oh yeah.
So that was 5, Rigo.
Mm-hmm. So I'm heading back
6?
to our honey hole at Rossman Lake. That's a fun hole, man. Dogleg left, 254 yards over the trees if you want to go for it. Got to hit a high ball to get over top, or bend one around the corner. It's a fun hole, and that green is crazy.
That green's nuts.
And what else is on that hole? Tree.
Hal's tree. Our grandpa Hal, when he passed away, they planted a tree just over the creek, kind of right down the aiming area. My dad says every time he gets that hole, he says right over Hallie's tree, and he hits a fade, so he kind of bends one. Well, it doesn't always go there, but he's pretty dialed in as a driver these days. So most of the time he hits it right over there. But it's a very
going to be a
hole.
Bitch in 10 years.
Oh yeah.
That's going to change that hole a lot.
Mm-hmm. Maybe some people cursing Grandpa's name when they hit that tree.
Rummy?
What are we at? 6? I got 6 at GP. Gilbert. That
par 5?
That green. It's the green, right?
Yeah.
That
green protects that whole hole.
There's so much shit that can go on that green. You can be going for 3 and end up with a 6. So it can be a gong show, just ending with that green and then going back over the other side for the last couple of holes on the front 9.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that green is nuts. So
that's pretty sweet.
Well, we've gone 6 holes without any doubling up yet, and we're going to continue. I got 6 at Neepawa.
Up the hill?
Up the hill, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So it's a tough shot, and then it's got a beautiful it's got a hard second shot, elevated green, it's got a very big green too, and it's kind of got a few different slopes on it and different ledges. But looking back, once you get onto hole 6 green, it's just a beautiful view from up there. So it's a tough tee shot. You're definitely not hitting driver there, right?
No, it's like a 6 iron probably.
Right, and then you're hitting it up, which isn't. I don't think it's a wedge up, is it?
No,
I haven't
it's
played
like
there yet this year.
I would say
it's a tough
like
hole.
If you hit it 185 yards, you got another 170 up the hill.
That's what I thought. And it just kind of gets narrow and narrower with a hazard on the left and some bush on the right.
And then the hazard's about 60 yards long in front of the green.
Right. Yeah. So it's a challenging hole, but it's beautiful. It's one of those holes that you love, and it's a feature hole, I guess, on Neepawa, I think. So it's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
And with that, we'll roll into Cirrus Glenwood, which my good buddy Bryce Giroux, I think he's been listening to a couple podcasts, so I figured I'd give a shout out to his home course there. It's a beautiful little course. I know you guys have played it before. But hole 7, it's a dog leg left, and the best part about it, it has a beer tree. So if you hit your drive and it hits the tree, you got to buy your foursome a beer. So that's a cool thing about that.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
I think it's 7. I'm pretty sure. I played there quite a few times, but it was hard to – there's not a whole lot of scorecards and virtual tours online that I was looking at, but I'm pretty sure it's hole 7. So Cirrus Glenwood.
I'm heading to the top of the hill where you hit up on number 6 at Neepawa, and you hit back down for this super elevated tee shot on number 7 with a hazard all the way down the left and right, and kind of follows it all the way up in front of the green. That's a tough hole, man. It's one of the tougher par 5s. If it's windy, man, holy smokes.
Yeah, it is for sure. Lots of trouble on that tee shot, and second shot's hard.
Oh, it's one of those tee shots that you hit, and if your ball starts going straight, you just exhale. But if your ball has any spin on it when it's windy there, that thing is gone. You're so high up in the air.
Yeah.
And it's a very dangerous drive down the hill after. So you better be careful if you've had a few beers before then.
Yeah. Drums.
7's taking me to Verdon. Remember Verdon? 7th hole. Par 3.
Oh yeah, over the water.
Yeah, over the water. Water kind of on your right. You kind of come out of a chute when you tee off with the water and then trees on the left.
Yeah, that is a nice hole.
It's kind of got that elevated green that they just run. All the sides kind of run off, and then the front's got a bunker as well. So it can be a relatively tough tee shot. We played both tees, so we played middle and back, and it was super hard from the backs. It was, I think it's like 185 with all that going on too, and then the green had a lot of undulation and a lot of break and a lot of putts on that one too. So I liked that hole. I was actually really surprised at how much I liked Verdon in general.
It's a cool.
7 was
Manitoba's oldest course.
Yeah, I think that's what right. Patty said, right? But yeah, 7 definitely stood out with me.
Love it. So what do you have for 8?
8, I got 8 at Clear Lake.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Just a fun hole. I love that short par 4 that I've been trying to hit the green since I was 13 years old, and I don't think I'll ever come closer than like 20 yards. Either I'm going left or right or duffing it.
Yeah. You got to land it in the perfect spot on that hole to get on the green for sure.
Because your fairway runs kind of everywhere,
Reggie?
right?
No, I'm up, right? Yeah, it does. I got 8 at Minnedosa. That's the par 3 elevated tee. We played there at the start of this year, and it was the spring. We had a very windy spring, so we did a couple practice rounds out there before the RBC Scramble, and I swear that hole was playing 250 yards. It was dead into the wind. We were kind of at the back tees there by that tin shack, and it's a cool hole. It's everything kind of slopes down to the left, so it's kind of a hard landing spot. But and we had a good memory with the chip in there on 8, so that's my hole. Beautiful hole.
That was on my list this morning as well before I adjusted it here.
Wow, we're
That's
like 24 for 24 just about. So actually we are now if you don't have that one.
No, I don't have that one. So I have number 8 at Poplar Ridge. Maybe not so much for our scramble drawer this year because I think we made a double there for our 4-man scramble.
Oh yeah.
Or not, it wasn't a scramble, sorry. It was a 4-person best ball, but it's a dog leg left. You gotta, if you want to go on one line, you gotta carry it about 240 yards through basically uprights of trees to get to the fairway there. And then we didn't know because we didn't play there that often or go for it, that there was another hazard up by the green and 2 of us flew into there. So you can either take an iron out and play down the right and it plays like a normal par 4, or put on your big boy pants and try to fly the hazard through the uprights. And it's another one of those risk reward holes that lots of golfers love. So it's a fun hole. I would say it's their signature hole, or it was when they first built the course.
It's a tough tee shot, man. Lots of water there to get over.
Number 11 would be their signature, but that par 3 downhill. But this one's not a cool hole.
All right, that is
okay.
8.
And for that, I'm heading just down Highway 10 to Clear Lake, number 9. It's just, I mean, the tee shot is one of the easier ones ever if you can just pick a target. But as soon as you get down that hill, that's about where the easy stops. I mean, that green is just crazy. How many memories do you guys have of just seeing people just implode on that hole? Like it's a crazy green. There's slopes everywhere. Everything slopes so dramatically to the front if you're on the front half, and then everything to the back left as soon as you get past that front half. And it's a tough par, man. It is a very tough par. Some of us can birdie it. Some of us can birdie it to get into a playoff hole, but others can't. Jordan birdied it last year in the Tamarack to get into a playoff hole.
What do they say? Even a blind squirrel finds a nut once in a while.
Sorry, just one last thing on that too before I end that. Almost every single person who doesn't play that course very often gets to the top of the hill on number 9, and you have the view over top of those trees into Clear Lake, and you can see the whole lake. And I would say 95% of people who it's their first time playing there stop at the top of that hill and take a picture with the lake in the background.
Yeah, for sure.
Because
you need to clear out some beautiful. Of that bush.
Yeah, they do.
On the left. On hole 10, hole 11, hole 12, they need to clear out some of that and get some views on those holes.
I'm guessing it has to do with federal rules.
Yeah. Drums, what are you closing out the front 9 here today?
I'm closing out with number 9 at Dolphin.
Wow. Just stop quickly there. We got 27 for 27. We got all different holes. That's incredible, actually.
Nice.
So that's actually insane.
Par 3.
Par 3.
Your ace.
That's my ace. That's my nostalgia hole. So that's going to be my favorite one forever.
Nothing to add on it other than you got a hole in one there.
What else do I need to say?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, well, I'll round us out here. I'm blown away the fact that we didn't have any double ups, because you guys mentioned a few that I had as kind of my backups and etc. And I kind of it worked out perfectly. So that's awesome. I got number 9 at Wheat City. I can't go 9 holes without mentioning the home course. Wheat City, you got hole 7, you got hole 8. Both are fairly easy par 5s, I would say. So you're kind of feeling pretty good about yourself. And then you get to 9 and it's just like, what? I've seen good rounds ruined on 9. Guys being 2 under, 1 under, and then all of a sudden they double or triple 9 to start 10, which is also a bitch of a hole. But I like 9. I used to hate it, but I hit a fade now. It's tough to draw it around there as a lefty, but I hit a fade now, and it's a tough tee shot. It's a tough second shot, and but once you finish 9 and look back, there's a pond there, and it's actually a beautiful, very underrated view from 9 green at Wheat City. So that's what I got. Par 4.
Did you go across the bridge on that hole?
No.
Or is there a bridge? Is it right beside number 1 tee box?
Like a culvert. Yeah.
Number 2 tee box.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Number
okay.
2.
Yeah, by number 1 green. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
It's a
So that's
deceiving
that.
green, hey? Like how long it is back there.
Yeah, it's
Yes,
a
it
cool
is.
hole.
Yeah.
Depending on where the pin is, you can think that you're 10 feet away and be 35 or 40 feet away. So that's just kind of the look from back there. And trouble left, trouble right, and a pond in front. So what was your guys' pars here? Mine was a 36, I think.
Mine was 36 as well.
I think for we'll do the back nines next week. This was kind of fun. The back nine I think was fun because it included all the 9-hole courses.
Yeah, true.
But it seemed to me when I was thinking of holes and stuff, like there's a lot of signature holes on the back nine. So
Yeah.
I think that the back nine will be fun too. Rigo's still doing math here.
31. I had a par 39.
Okay, so for your back nine, you got to get what would it be? 30.
Oh, that doesn't make sense. It has to be 38. Well, whatever. I'll add it up and I'll let you guys know next week. I'm having a tough time here.
Yeah. Okay. So with that, let's wrap up the first segment here, and we'll get to the free ad in a sec. Or what are you thinking about, Rigo?
Why are we going?
Tonight's. Yeah.
Well, I thought we were going for a whiz or something.
Tonight's
Take us
free
with you.
ad. Tonight's free ad is brought to you by Framework Media, also known as our good pal Liam Shamray. He is a photographer, videographer, website designer extraordinaire. We worked with Liam quite a bit this summer, and we have absolutely nothing but great things to say about him. He's a young guy, but he's very easy to talk to and to get along with. He's a very likable guy, which makes everything easier when you're doing that kind of stuff. So Liam joined us out at Killarney for a round. He was the 5th guy out there. It was a slower day on the course, so he was able to hit a couple shots. He's a good golfer. But most of all, like I said, he was just awesome to be around. And sometimes you didn't even know he was there. He was just getting his work done. And between our stuff and there's a few other companies in town that use him a lot. So if you're a company who needs some sort of story told or videotaped or whatever you would call that, check out Framework Media. That's Liam. So that is tonight's free ad. If you want to see some of his sample work, head over to our YouTube channel where we posted our video from our day with Liam in Killarney Lakeside Golf Course. So that's that.
Yeah, he's a super interesting guy. He's had I've seen a couple of very, very well done videos of house tours when it comes to real estate. He does a hell of a job. Yeah, basically check him out on Instagram, Framework Media. He's an incredible guy.
That's right. Okay, fellas, let's get into the second segment here. We're going to start her off with Reggie's Stroke Saver. What's on the agenda tonight, Reggie?
Reggie's Stroke Saver tonight is it's another pretty basic tip. It may seem basic to a lot of people, but there might be a few out there that would never think to do it. Basically, it is around the greens when hitting a chip shot. Lots of guys, if they hit a chip shot and it goes past the hole, they kind of bury their head and they're kind of upset with themselves about the chip they just hit. Instead of doing that, just keep an eye on where the ball breaks after it runs past the hole, and it'll basically give you a free read coming back the other way, and a free read that you can also be very confident in hitting the putt back the other way. I myself in the tournament on the weekend didn't do this a couple times because I was cheesed that I blasted the chip past the hole, ended up missing the putt coming back just because I didn't know where the putt went. So it's an easy thing to do, but it saves a few of those 5-6 footers knowing the read to them and stroking the putt in with confidence. And again, it may seem like a very basic thing, but it helps a lot in trusting where that next putt's going.
Basic is good, and sometimes people just need a reminder of that. So you said chipping, and putting too, or no?
Well, putting too, yeah, definitely. Any putt
putting would probably be though. Yeah, I mean, if people are thinking about that, it's probably with a putter, but By the time you're chipping and it runs past the hole, it probably has the spin taken out of it already. So you can pay attention to that too, right?
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
All right, Drums, what's on the Culture Corner tonight?
Tonight we got a pretty quick one. I was just looking for something to kind of kill. I think I had maybe an hour of just free time and nothing. Wasn't looking for anything too serious, so I came across this Netflix documentary series called High Score, and it basically just goes through the history of video games. So it starts like with the Ataris, and then how they died out, and then like the resurgence with the Nintendos, and then the Super Nintendos, and how they had all these competitions back in the day. And like, you remember the movie The Wizard, where they travel to California to play in like the video game, and it was like the introduction of the Game Boy glove.
Oh, really?
Yeah. All right, I'm a little more geekier than you guys, maybe.
I wouldn't say I'm a pretty big gamer, but I stick to the mainstream games.
No, it's been pretty cool. Like just checking out the evolution of everything from like literally Pong into the games that we have nowadays, where you basically create yourself in a game and do all that RPG stuff. So, yeah, just something pretty easy to watch. Nothing you got to think about. Just kill some time and watch some nostalgic.
So it's an hour long only?
I think they're like 45 minutes an episode. I think there's 6 episodes. I'm only 3.
Oh, it's a series.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Cool. I watched The Social Dilemma last night.
And isn't it nuts?
Yeah, I would say it is nuts. It's you know what? I can get my head around my phone knowing me better than I know myself, in terms of, I mean, the better my phone knows me, the less I have to worry about. Like if I'm out of milk and my phone knows that, then milk should appear in my fridge someday. But I don't like the fact that it is influencing political decisions and stuff like that. I don't think that that's right, and I think that that's something that needs to change in a very, very quick hurry, because that's my issue with it.
Yeah, like the tough part is going to be, how do they stop it?
Yeah, I know.
Stop
like if computers. I'll tweet you something next time I see it, and it has like to do with like Russian bots. So it was like over the weekend, The Rock put out that video. And so you can go through the comments, and you'll find like thousands upon thousands of people saying the exact same thing. And then you like take that and copy and search that in Twitter, and it comes up with millions of like just fake accounts that put this out. Yeah. So it's just crazy shit like that.
Yeah, it is crazy. But yeah, that's it was cool. It was eye-opening for sure. I mean, we can get into other stuff on a different episode there, but what happened?
You're doing your stupid conspiracy shit. I shouldn't say stupid, because I like it too, but I don't know how many people that listen to this would care about our conspiracy talks.
Yeah,
I think that's.
I want to pick your guys' brains though one of these days, just to what all the stuff you know. But
we'll just do an episode one day, like off calendar day on a Sunday or something. And if it sucks, then we'll just gas it.
Yeah. What do you got in the junk drawer tonight, Jor?
Oh, I got something real special tonight, boys.
Ooh.
It's I'm really, really hoping that this hasn't been done by anybody yet, but I feel like it has. So I'll start with the problem first. The problem is A, people who come to the course without cash. B, people who don't pay after the round because it's $3 or $4 or $5 or something like that. And I think the solution for this is, and C, one more problem, which is people don't know the rules of the games. So my solution is an app on your phone that has like 20, 30, 40 games of golf. You get to the course, you type in who's playing, you pick your course, you pick how many people are going to pay, how much people are going to pay, what game you're going to play, and then it just connects through their bank accounts, and then it pays out at the end of it once the scores have all been counted up.
Oh, so like each guy deposits money into the account or something like that?
You'd set it up as like a payee on your online banking account.
But everybody's got to have it before teeing off.
I gotta add to it too. You could actually add in. You could make it the golf course app, and then they just add the games onto the golf course app, so you could pay for drinks through that too.
Yeah.
I think you guys just make a King Golf app with that on it.
Wow. We might have to cut this part out of the episode.
But I think the coolest part about it would be the fact that, well, you wouldn't have to pay for it. I think that the way it would make money is, say you have 8 guys playing. I mean, think about how many times you spent. It is a good time, and it's cool to have cash and stuff like that and figure out who won. But I know one specific time we had like 12 or 16 guys. We went to Original Joe's after, and we were all pretty in the bag at that point. And it legitimately took us 2 hours to figure out who won any money.
Right.
But
this app keeps track of it.
Yeah, the app would just figure it out as soon as you enter all the scores in.
Wow.
But the way it would make money is, like, say the pot's $20 times 10, $160. It would just take like 5% of the pot. So if you think about how many games would be going on at the same time across the world, then you're getting 5% of every pot. Like, that'd be pretty substantial, I think. You'd have to get more users for sure, but I thought that was a cool one. I thought and it was really something that's probably going to happen in the next 5 or less years.
Well, yeah, just look at the way everything's going right now.
Like, I don't think cash is going to be around very long.
Write down the date and time that you said that, and we'll make sure that somebody gets you some royalties if you don't make it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I doubt we'll make it, but the point of this is just to kind of maybe somebody will do it. Maybe a listener will come across it one day and they'll send me a thank you card with $1 million bill in it or something.
Just a thank you card, just with their name, nothing else.
A $5 Tim's card. Okay, so that's that. We can,
That's unreal, man. Holy shit.
So we'll get into over/under now. Overrated or underrated?
Maybe just say a second one, just in case we decide to cut that out. Just kidding.
All right, well, we're going to get into the second part here, which is the overrated or underrated part of the show. We've been getting a ton of good suggestions from our friends on Instagram and Twitter. But before we get into that quickly, I'm just going to mention a few that I thought were pretty funny and that we're probably not going to have a conversation around, but they're worth mentioning. So we had movie actors and actresses from Tyson, aka Bearded Mongrel, on Instagram. And I think
that's a great handle.
My thoughts on that would just be watch the Ricky Gervais 10-minute YouTube videos at the what was it, drums?
Golden Globes.
That's how I feel.
No,
about
that was
celebrities
hilarious.
Yeah. Katie Nolt. I got her name right this time. She said
It's
Regan being a girl's name.
Ask footer.
What else did we have in here? Misha Abel wanted to do a hot or not for the PGA guys, so maybe we'll get into that sometime.
Probably not. Maybe we'll go LPGA girls. Probably we won't do guys.
That's sexist.
Oh.
Katie Nolt also said Pat's weed picking abilities at the Gilbert Plains golf course. And Rigo, while I'm looking at this, quickly just touch on the job that Patty's doing out at Gilbert. Like, legit.
The rat?
Oh, yeah. Man. We've had a wild couple days here with Pat. It's tough to speak too highly of him. But anyways, Pat's 76 years old. He's known as Pat the Rat around Dolphin here. He is one of the funniest, hardest working guys out there. He has that golf course. Like, he just does all the stuff nobody else wants to do. Like, he'll just get out there with a broom and sweep all the pavement in front of the golf course, get all the leaves out of there. And just like clean all the garbage. He just does everything, and he just does it all out of his kindness. He just wants to do it, and he's an interesting guy. If anybody knows him, they know that he's a cool guy.
He's a great guy.
I remember watching him crash into the beer cart lady one time. He went ass over tea kettle out of the cart.
It was Daryl.
Yeah, it's Daryl Hyde, and he went flying over the handrail.
Yeah, he's an interesting guy.
Actually, I love Patty.
And then he got up and was like, "What are you doing?" to her, and he crashed into her.
I could tell you guys a really funny story about yesterday, but I don't know if we have time.
Let's save it for a Pat the Rat special.
It is super interesting. We called the cops and declared him missing yesterday. So
okay, go. I gotta hear it now.
We'll get into that another day.
Well, say it now. We're into it already.
Katie's trading in her vehicle, so she's test driving the new vehicle, and she's washing the vehicle she's test driving at Co-op, and Pat rides up on his bike and says, "Where's your van?" And she says, "It's at Benson's. I'm test driving this one." And he says, "Well, I need your van for the weekend. Can I borrow it?" So he borrows it, and he actually ended up giving me a ride home from the Gary Brandon. He just showed up at the golf course in Dolphin on Friday night and gave me a ride home from the Gary Brandon tournament.
In her van.
And then, and Katie says, I guess right before she gave it to him on Friday, she said, "Pat, I need you to have this van back to me at 9 o'clock Monday morning because I need to trade it in on Monday on the new vehicle." So 9 a.m. rolls around on Monday, and not there. 10 rolls around. Katie goes and drops the trade-in vehicle or the vehicle she's test driving off at the dealership for them to get everything ready, all the paperwork and everything. We drove around town looking for about 40 minutes, looking for Pat. Checked all his usual hot spots, nothing. 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock. Still no sign of Pat. And he is like, anybody who knows Pat knows that he's not the guy that's going to, like, he would have the vehicle there at 9 a.m., washed, vacuumed out on the inside. Like, just, he's that kind of guy. So we're like, okay, well, and the most important thing is he doesn't have a phone, and he never has had a phone. So if you want to get a hold of Pat, you have to find him. So
it's smoke signals.
Anyways, it's 4 o'clock, and I said, you know what? I think he might be fishing at the Wilson River if he's anywhere. So that's what he always talks about. So Katie just bought a new house out in the country near this Wilson River. So Katie's husband drives out there. While he's driving out there, Katie calls the Dolphin detachment and declares Pat a missing person because, like, we're all worried about him. He's 76 years old. He should have had the van back and whatever. So I guess Kyle shows up to the Wilson River and Pat's there fishing. And he says, "Pat, what are you doing here? Like, we've been waiting for this van all day." And he says, "I'm fishing. What does it look like?" And he thought he was supposed to have the van back on Tuesday, but it was Monday. So he was fishing from 7 a.m. to 4 in the afternoon.
That's
and Kyle's trying to yell at him to tell him to bring the van back. And he's trying to tell Kyle how many fish he caught during the day, just completely ignoring the fact that he's been declared missing to the police.
Unreal. We should have Patty on here one time.
Oh
my
God, no. That'd be wild.
That's got to be a video interview.
Yeah, it would be for sure.
He's going to be at the tournament this weekend. We'll get some good audio from him.
Okay. Get it going with overrated, underrated here.
Okay, so mine is from a Gilbert Plains member, Nathan Zadarozny. Overrated or underrated, owning your own golf cart?
Me and Drums both have our own golf cart, so I guess we'll fire this one up. We've had ours for 4 years now. I owned it with Kyle Turner first, Kyle Mule Turner. And then he moved out to Saskatchewan for a while. So he sold his share to Mitch Moose Kaminsky. So I've had a mule and a moose as my partners. And I would say it's probably, if I'm in between, I'm going to say on par because there are definitely some downsides to it and there are some high costs and it can be a pain in the ass, especially when you're hauling it around and your canopy, your cooler, and a whole bunch of golf balls come flying out of the cart. But overall, I mean, if I didn't have that cart, me and Moose probably wouldn't be as good as buddies we are. And it's nice just to have a cart. Whenever you want to take it out, you can. The reason I would say it might be slightly overrated is because you can get a decent rate for cart memberships now without any worry about storage or anything like that. So, but I would say it's on par. We've had a lot of good times with that cart. So that's my spiel.
I'll stick with par as well. Much the same as you. Like, I don't know. Like, it's great when you have it at your use, but I mean, really, what would it be if you didn't pay for the cart and you just went with doing the cart rental for the year? I don't know, really. And then
like cost benefit, you mean?
Cost benefit, like having to put batteries. We just had to put batteries in ours. We did a couple last year and then did a couple more this year to finish it off. So it can get expensive too, having one, but I don't know. It's always nice just running, grabbing your cart. So I don't know. I'm going to say on par as well.
It's probably not saving you a ton of money, right?
I don't think it is.
Like if I golf the same amount of rounds this year, unless you own it for 20 years, then obviously it is, right? But most people don't. So
yeah, I'm going to say I don't own one, but I'm going to say on par. I have a cart membership at Gilbert. The nice thing about the cart membership is I get to the course, I walk across the bridge, grab a key from inside the pro shop and grab a cart and go. I don't have to worry about cleaning it. I don't have to worry about changing the batteries. I don't have to worry about gassing it up. I don't have to worry about winterizing it, anything, storing it anywhere. But it would be nice to have a trailer and take it to different courses and take it to the lake and do this and that. Mom and Dad's is very handy to have at the golf course at Rossman. When you live at a place or have a seasonal at a place, I think it's even better that way because you can just drive down to the golf course.
Right.
As far as having one in Gilbert, I don't know that I'll ever get one in Gilbert. It just I don't know if it makes sense or not to me to get one.
Yeah, that's a tough one. I don't know if we've ever had 3 pars before.
I don't think so either.
I think there's lots of good to it, and there's lots of stuff you could do without for sure. Drums, what do you got?
Mine came from, we got a double header here. So a couple guys throwing this one at us. We got Josh Dines and Matt Lekkinen are saying PXG.
PXG probably is the brand I'm thinking, right? Like overall?
I guess, yeah.
Because they make putters, irons, wedges, and drivers, right? Like everything?
Yeah.
And everything's super expensive.
I'm going to say overrated, but I've also never tried them. But I just can't see any club unless it has a rocket ship attached to the ball that's going to make me pay that much money for it. I mean, that's a lot of money, and you can shoot the same scores. We talked about it last week. I think more the club fitting is more important than the actual brand on the clubs. And I guess that's a big part of PXG is they're all custom, right? But I mean, you can get custom clubs for a lot less. So I'm thinking that there's going to be a lot of people agreeing with this, but I'm going to go overrated. I just can't see any other reason for it.
I'm going to say on par in the sense that I personally would never, ever buy them just because I hunt for deals everywhere for golf clubs. I mean, I guess I paid full price for my irons, but it's whatever. But drivers, like I would never pay $700 for a driver, let alone whatever they are, 14, 15, 25. I don't know what they are. They're expensive as hell, either. Though. One thing I will say, though, Sean McCory from Gilbert went to Vegas and rented clubs at a course there, and the rental clubs were PXG. He said the irons were big cavity backs and not impressive at all, but he said the driver was absolutely incredible. He said it was like very hard to hit bad. All over the club face, it was just, he said it was very forgiving. He didn't have any drives that really felt bad the whole round. He said he's definitely thinking about buying a driver, a PXG driver. So that's where the underrated comes from, but I would say the overrated would be just a guy like myself. I would never have enough money to afford any kind of stuff like that. And it wouldn't be worth it, I don't think.
Yeah, we kind of touched on it last week, I think, with Scotty's.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Is that how it came up? Again, I'm not in the class that's should be hitting the most expensive clubs in the world. So I'm going super, super overrated. I can't see the irons making like that much of a difference in my game for how much the price difference would be in what I'm using. I think that's crazy because it's that and then those Hamas or whatever they're called. Like the price
Honma,
on
yeah.
those things
Yeah.
are nuts. So yeah,
Now's a good time
I'm
to buy those
overrated.
Honmas, though.
Why?
They're pretty sharp looking clubs.
Justin Rose bailed on them, and they cut, like their price on Golf Town cut in half.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, didn't he quit using them because of the coronavirus?
I don't know. He went from number one in the world to very average real quick while he was using the Honmas. He switched to those Honmas while he was the world number one.
Okay, we got some research for next episode. Rigo, you're going to find out how much a PXG set costs as your housekeeping stuff.
I know that they're
Tom's
anywhere.
figure out if Justin Rose switched because of the pandemic.
Sanheim has some, and I don't think he paid all that much. But then he said one of his teammates spent $11,000, I think, on a set of irons. So
PXGs.
yeah.
That's mental. My car's worth less than that.
So I think you can basically spend as much as you want on them.
Yeah, that's right. All right, let's get into the third and final one here, which is ball retriever in the bag, followed by a woof. Buzz, your girlfriend, woof. That's from Derek Stakilo.
Ooh, the 2020 Mid-Masters champion, Saskatchewan Mid-Masters champion, which I believe is equivalent to the Mid-Amateur here in Manitoba, which is very impressive. He won it at his home course in Yorkton at Deer Park. Shout out to Stike for that. And pretty funny question. I would say just based on the reaction that we had to finding balls in the bush and then shitting on balls that were found in the water, I guess it'd be good in the sense that if you hit a brand new Pro V into the water, you could get it. But as far as picking those balls that have been there for a while, I wouldn't do that.
Rami?
I'm not picking balls out of the water no matter what. So overrated on that. I would never use one.
What if your ball's what if your ball is in there for like 30 seconds while you drove up to the pond?
Well, then I reach it with my club. Like I don't need a fucking extended arm to get it. Like I'm not spending the time to do that.
Have you ever played number 7 at Gilbert?
Yeah, I got shit to do. I'm not spending all day grabbing a ball.
Yeah, if you hit a
if I see somebody in front of me
with
a ball retriever, I'm shooting a ball at them. I'm not waiting for
them. We played golf on the weekend with Dally and Danny. And I think Danny had a ball retriever. So
yeah, well, tell her to keep her heads up.
So you're going overrated, obviously?
Extremely.
I mean,
I never gave my answer. I'm on par.
I'm going to go underrated here, I think. I mean, like, what's the harm? Imagine a scenario where you hit a $7 ball in the water and it's like a foot out of reach. Like, it's not taking any room in your cart or anything. It's just like in your bag. Like,
I think it counts as a club in a tournament, though.
It doesn't. I just don't see it is probably pretty bad style, but I mean, as a Ukrainian, which I've said before, if I lose a Pro V1, I want to find that bastard of a ball.
Jordan, what if we start making ball retriever head covers for King Golf, and so they're discreet?
Let's bring ball retrievers back, man. I think that they're underrated.
So they're discreet in the bag. Nobody has to know you have one, and then boom, you pull a head cover off, and you're prepared.
I'm going to push you both in the water next time you start using
when you've never used them before is severely overrated, like Moose.
He has one in his bag?
Guy's got a set of alignment sticks, and he's probably never used them in his entire life.
He used them the other day. He sent a picture from
the driving range. Yeah, that's right. That might have been the first time he ever used them. Probably because I chirped them. Okay, that's the end of that.
What did you say?
I'm underrated.
Oh, right.
I guess with that, I'll mention quickly before Drums wraps us up is by the time you're hearing this, probably on Thursday, King Golf still has our first ever sale on our website. So go to our website. We got every product is 20% off up until Sunday. We're probably going to do these maybe once or twice a year, these sales. So head down there. We got lots of stuff on there. We got lots of hats, head covers, hoodies, t-shirts, some women's stuff, some youth stuff. kinggolf.ca.
Get it. I think that's going to wrap things up for us, boys. As always, continue hanging out with us. You keep coming. We'll keep pumping these out. Make sure you follow along with us during the tournaments for our picks, and make sure you enter yourself for the next tournament coming up. Like we said, Reg is going to put together a list, and we'll get that out there. So you might be plotting against us. So
I'm pretty sure
your chance of what's that?
I'm pretty sure it just came to my mind. I'm pretty sure it's the CJ Cup will be the next tournament.
Okay.
CGA?
CJ.
Okay, well, we'll figure out CJ and the boys. And that'll wrap it up. So peace out. Have a good week, boys. Love you. Peace.
Love you, boys. Talk to you soon.
Hey, boys.